Can you just give us your initial thoughts on seeing your name as a 1 seed and seeing your name up against Bemidji State in the first round?
Yeah, I honestly, we talked to the guys today on the ice today and said, hey, you know, what you guys have done this year, in my personal opinion, I think we've earned a 1 spot. I said, but who knows what's going to happen? There's lots of great teams out there. There's lots of different ways to look at it. And I said, wherever they throw us and whoever they want us to play, we don't have to worry about that. We have to just focus on what we've been doing all year and practice in the right way and get ready for our next game. And so when the guys heard the number 1 seed, obviously they were really excited. And I'm excited for them because I really do think they earned it. You know, I know we lost our championship game to Minnesota, but in that game, you know, they've been a top 3 team all year long. And you look at us in Minnesota, you know, we won 3 games. They won 2 against us. You know, you look at we won the regular season. They won the playoff game. You look at the game. We were down 5-1. We made it 5-4, and we had 50-plus shots on net. So it was a pretty even between us 2 teams. It was pretty even with us all year. So if they were a 1 seed, you know, I thought we would be right behind them. And fortunately, that's the way the committee saw it. And in Bemidji State, I haven't seen them play a lot. So we'll be doing some video work this week to try to see what their strengths are and to also try to identify some of their weaknesses and see if we can, you know, be ready. We will be ready, but see if we can learn a little bit more about them that I can start preparing our guys about as the week goes on.
To see your name for the first time in 7 seasons, how special was that, especially to do it in a year like this year has been?
Yeah, it was. There's been some really moments this season that you are grateful to have as a coach and be part of this program. You know, the first one is just getting a chance to play. I think that with all the things that had gone on and with all of the hurdles that the athletic departments had to try to figure out how sports were going to play, just the opportunity to play and compete again for our student athletes was one of the, you know, most exciting things that, hey, with everything going on in the world, we're still going to be able to play hockey. That was one. And then some of the games, you know, opening weekend at Notre Dame, no exhibition games. You got to go into a tough building and play a really competitive team to start the year off that way was one. The playing with a short bench at Ohio State, with 15 players to win there. There were multiple games when we had to kill, 5-minute penalties when the games were on the line and we got it done. There were games when we were down, 30 seconds ago and we were able to tie. There's so many little things in the season that had made this group special. To sit, with the players today and watch the selection and know that other people have recognized the success that we've had and the work that we put into it, I feel good for the kids. I mean, they're the ones that they played hard. They've given us everything that they've had all the way through it. They played beat up. They've played shorthanded, and they haven't blinked, they haven't flinched, they haven't complained. They just go out and play, and it's a group that, as coaches, we're really proud of, and to see them, get the number 1 seed. And again, this tournament, there's 16 great teams. So whether you're 1, 2, 3, or 4, if you're in the tournament, you're a good hockey team. So, we're still going to have to prepare for each game, knowing that the opponent that's there has earned it as well. And we'll have to continue to play great hockey to advance.
Tony, how do you think you guys were?
Tony, I know it's.
Tony,
go ahead, Jeff.
Tony, how do you think you guys were playing heading into that championship game? And then just kind of circle back to that championship game. What did you learn about your team that night after falling behind big?
Yeah, what we learned, one, I think Minnesota had been waiting for that game for a long time because a month before we kicked them pretty good in their building. And I don't know if we let our guard down, but it showed us that if we weren't sharp, great teams can take advantage of, a small lapse in your game. We weren't good for about 7 or 8 minutes there. We just were standing around watching, and they took advantage of it. And I think so, it was a lesson for us on, when we have a shift where it's not going right for us, let's get back on track. And we've done that all year. That's the first really segment of a game where you could say, man, we just fell apart there. And again, give Minnesota credit. They wanted to win a championship. They wanted a 1 seed, and they're a heck of a team. They've been top 5 team all year. They started out unbelievable, They had a little bit of a hiccup maybe, a month and a half ago, but they're back on track at being a really good team. So the response that you said, that was the most important part. And that's the way we've been all year. And after the second period, you didn't have to say a whole lot in the locker room. You just said, hey, boys, these are the 3 things that we're not doing that we've done all year. And, we're not going to quit. I know that. But here's what, when I get back in the game, there's a few things that we can do to make sure we do, can at least compete and show everybody how bad we want to win this one. And they did. I mean, when we made it 5-3, there were probably, it took us a while to get that 4th goal. But if we get that goal any earlier, and their goalie made probably 4 or 5 great saves in that span, that could have turned out to be a little bit different on how it finished. But I was proud of the guys all year long. Minnesota, the year that they've had, I think we both deserve winning one of the 2 things, and that's the way it turned out.
Tony, I know this is about the team, but you never got this chance as a player, and this must be a thrill for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, everybody will tell you this is what you play the game for, is to have chances to do things special as a team. When playoffs come around and championships are out there for you to compete for, this is why you play. I mean, so I'm again grateful for how this year's gone. The kids from the opening weekend at Notre Dame, the feel was special. The group was special. The leadership guys, the older players that I think took the lessons from last year and applied them really fast. You kind of felt that something was brewing, and I think the biggest point for us was before the see you boys. The biggest point for me was right before Christmas there when we had the short team and we lost that game to Ohio State, and I thought we played really well with a short bench, and we were able to respond and get that win. See ya. I'll call you there. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. Sorry, the boys are all walking through here, but so I think that was the point where I felt, what, we got out of this first half playing with a short team, without, obviously Dylan was gone for a long time. And then we lost those 5 players, at the same time. And we came out of it in pretty good position that we knew if we got our full team back the second half, we could do some special things. And, we went on a heck of a run and put ourselves, like I said, in a really good position heading into the tournament. So back to your question, Brian, I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled. I bet, this program and these fans and our boosters and all the people that follow our team, this is what, this is what they're used to. And, fortunately for us, we were able to put together a season to give ourselves an opportunity to compete in the tournament. And now we're going to try to make the most of it.
Tony, you've talked all season about how strong the Big Ten is, and that does kind of bear out with getting 4 teams in. Now, you can argue that, Notre Dame may have not gotten in if not for the St. Lawrence issue. But is this recognition for you, from your perspective, of how difficult it is in your league?
Well, yes, for sure. And I'm happy as heck Notre Dame got in. For one, we had Arizona State in our conference this year. They came into the year as a ranked team, and they didn't have a very good season. And it's not because they're not a good team. It's because they're playing good teams every weekend. And our, conference times gets lost in the talk to say, well, they got so many teams that are around that 500 mark, so maybe some of these teams aren't that good. Well, we're that good. It's just the fact that, we beat up on each other every weekend. You look at Michigan State. Minnesota just played Michigan State, and it took Minnesota overtime. They just won the championship. We just played Michigan State the week before. It took us, 50 minutes to get a lead to beat them. So it's a great conference. And so I'm happy as heck that we got the 4 teams in. I think we deserve 4 teams in there. Notre Dame might have backdoored it because of how things played out, but they can beat anybody. They can make their way to the Frozen Four with, I can see them doing that.
Tony, you know who the color commentator is in Bridgeport?
I do.
Very familiar?
Very familiar. Yes. Yeah. We talked a couple of weeks ago, and he told me that, and I said, I got to be honest, I don't think they're sending us to Bridgeport. So I did think of that as soon as I saw Bridgeport. So be a little reunion with my old coach and Bucci and Colby Cohen. It's a great broadcasting crew.